Good morning, everyone. We're going to get started in a few minutes. We're going to be coming to the middle of the mat, and just make sure that you have your props, your bolster if you have one handy, so that you can utilize it if you need it in any of the poses. So let's start by just coming into that comfortable seated position. Just take a few moments to settle in, and we'll wait to begin. So we're going to start at the middle of the mat, and as you sit in whatever comfortable position feels good for you, try to let your legs stay crossed, and you can use your block, sit on your block if you feel that you need to let your hips open up. And as you sit up tall, draw your navel into the back of the spine, and then raise your shoulders up towards your ears, and then just slowly roll them back without really pushing the chest out, but just squeezing your shoulder blades. Draw the navel into the back of the spine and allow the back to be nice and straight. And then just gently let your eyes close. And we want to start to let go of anything that we might have brought to our mat this morning. Just try to let everything go so far that came up maybe in your morning. So let everything go and just devote this next hour for yourself. Allow yourself to come into the present moment, and just let yourself watch as your breath slowly flows in and out, making sure that it flows in through the back of your throat. So allowing a little bit of an audible sound to come in through the back of the throat area, making a gentle ha sound. Each time that you inhale and exhale, just hear that sound as it travels through the back of the throat. So it shouldn't be really too intense. It should be just very subtle, but you should be able to hear it. And this is the breath that you want to continue to use throughout your practice. And every once in a while you may forget. That's okay. We'll guide you back in. So from here, with the eyes remaining closed, let's bring our hands together in prayer position, letting the thumbs come to the center of the heart. And we're just going to begin today by chanting Om one time. So we're going to take a nice deep breath in. Om. And slowly let your hands come to rest on the knees, and just let your eyes slowly open, allowing the back to remain straight and chin stays level with your mat. Let's bring both arms all the way up, stretching up as high as you can. As you exhale, bring both arms down alongside your mat and stretching the left arm up and over. Nice side lateral stretch, reaching, and come back, center, lowering the left hand down. Inhale, bring the right arm up and over. Stretching just to where you're comfortable, not rounding the back. Exhale, bring the hand down. And let's bring both arms up again. Lift, inhale, and both palms come back together to the center of the heart. And raise both arms all the way up once again. Stretch up a little higher if you can than before. Exhale, arms float down, shoulders stay relaxed. And then left arm goes up and over. Lateral stretch, stretching as far as you can, keeping that left buttock down. Exhale, bring the hand all the way down. On your inhale, float the right arm all the way up and over, stretching towards the left. And exhale, bring the hand down. And then both arms slowly lift up. Inhale, go up a little higher if you can. Hands to prayer, exhaling the hands back to the center of the heart. On your inhale, last time, I'm going to stretch both arms up. Inhale, exhale, and both arms float down. And last time for the left arm to stretch up and over. Go a little bit further if you can. And exhale, bring it down nice and slow. Inhaling, the right arm stretches up and over. Exhale and bring that hand down. And then both arms float all the way up. Inhale. And as you exhale, this time just hinge forward. Keep your back nice and long. So try not to round and draw the chin into the chest. Just allow yourself to hinge forward. Maybe only the tips of your fingers come down. Maybe you have the range of motion where you can fold a little bit lower, but you want to try and let that back remain long and tuck your tail under, pull your navel in so that you don't arch through the lower back. And keep squeezing your shoulder blades together. And then raise up high onto the tips of your fingers, and let's walk it over to the right side. And keep your arms right around that right leg, shoulder width apart. And then just as you bend both elbows, hinge forward to stretch into that left side. We already opened up that left side a little. We're just going to move into a little bit of a stretch here, pressing that left buttock down to the mat, pulling the hip away from the left rib cage. A nice deep inhale and exhale. Maybe let your eyes close. Stay on the tips of your fingers and try to make sure your back is not rounding. The shoulders don't hunch to the ears. And staying on the tips of the fingers, lift yourself up. Walk forward and take it over to the left side, maintaining that length through your spine. Again, the arms are shoulder width apart, and you're folding over to that left side, just pressing your right buttock down, moving the hip away from the rib cage, and elbows bend slightly as you maintain that length through your spine. You want to feel that stretch, really draw that hip down to the mat. Make sure that you're breathing. And inhale, slowly come back up, walking to center. Exhale and take it down. Maybe just going to the same place that you were before, or maybe finding a little bit more of that deeper fold here. And you can let the palms come down and rest gently on your mat. Tuck that tail under, so make sure that you're not tilting the tailbone up. You want to tuck under so that the lower back remains nice and flat. From here, walk your hands back up, and however you can get into a tabletop position, we're going to come onto all fours. And let's come right into the top of the mat. So you want to bring your fingertips to the top of your mat. And we're going to turn the fingers in. So you're going to turn your fingers so that they're facing inward to the middle of your mat, and the shoulders are directly over your wrists. Knees are under your hips and legs are hip distance apart. Now let's curl the toes and tilt your tailbone up. So you want to drop your belly towards the floor and let your chest lift up. You're going to take a little bow here, bending through the elbows, and try to let either your chin or your nose come right into the middle of the mat where the fingers are. So you're going to bend, keep the tailbone lifted, try to touch with your nose or your chin, and then slowly push back up. Keep drawing the navel into the back of the spine. Straighten in the arms, and then once again, bend, elbows splay out to the side, and come back up. So you want to make sure the shoulders are over the wrists. You don't want to have the hands too far in towards your body. Last time, lowering down, chin or nose touches, and press it back up. And then taking that tilt out of your tailbone, let the toes come flat and turn the hands so that they're facing forward. And let's breathe here. I'm going to turn now the fingers so that they're facing towards you. So this can be a little intense. Try to turn as much as you can. We're going to get a stretch in through the right wrist. So just lean back slightly. The left hand just stays where it is. We just want to stretch into that right wrist and up through the arm. And then turn that right hand back. And turn the left hand so that it turns to face you towards your left leg. Let the heel of the hand stay flat down on the floor, and then just leaning back slightly. So you want to wait until you feel that stretch coming into the left wrist. And then come back up and switching back. Right hand turns once again, and this time left hand. So we're going to do both together. And then you want to just sit yourself back a little bit so you feel the stretch coming into both of the wrists at the same time. And then slightly comes forward slightly and turn the hands. And then curl your toes. And let's sit back onto the heels as we walk in. You want to sit on your heels. Your toes are curled, stretching in through the soles of your feet. Raise your arms up and just try to stay here, just getting the stretch through the soles of the feet. And then let's circle the wrists, circling the hands, and just from your wrist, circling one direction and then circling around opposite direction. And just continue to sit on those heels. Take your arms, extend them all the way up, and then take your hands and place them onto your shoulders. Your elbows are out to the side. And let's start to take the elbows in towards each other and then roll them back. So we're making a circle, coming forward first with the elbows, warming up the shoulders. And then when your elbows come forward, reverse, go up towards the ceiling and circle back. And circling back, warming up the shoulders. Maybe by now you're not even thinking of the soles of your feet. And then from here, release, take both hands down onto the mat, and then flatten the toes. And let's take it right into a child's pose. Open the knees out as wide as the width of your mat and bring your big toes to touch. Try to draw the tailbone down towards your heels, and you want to sit back, extend your arms forward. Try to keep the arms lifted if you can, possibly stretching a little further with the fingertips. Feel as if your hands are pushing the mat away to push your butt down closer towards your heels. And let your forehead relax on the mat. Don't let your head hang out in space. So if you have your block, you can place the block there. Or even if you have a little bit of a towel or a blanket, you can even put your head on that so that the head has a place to just kind of rest and you're not putting any tension through the neck area. And just let that lower back really open. And let's come back up onto all fours. So you're going to slide your hands back so they come right under your shoulders and draw your knees back under your hips. And let's from here take the right leg, extend it all the way back. Draw the right hip down and keep that right leg lifted. Try to make sure that it stays in alignment with your hips so you don't have to stretch it all the way up and arch the back. So you want to pull your navel into the back of the spine and tuck your tail under. And allow the toes to point and flex, point and flex, point and flex. And circle the foot from the ankle in one direction and then circle the foot in the opposite direction. Bring your knee back down underneath your hip. Square your hips and left leg goes back. Make sure that left hip faces down and just let the leg lift and keep the leg straight as the toes point and flex and point and flex, point and flex. And make a circle with the foot going in one direction. Circle your foot around, bringing it the opposite way. And then bring the knee back down underneath your hip. And let's take the hands just a little bit further to the front of the mat so they're a little bit more forward of your shoulders. Curl your toes, and we're going to lift the knees, pushing back up into down dog. I'm not going to hold it here that long, but this is our down dog position. Maybe the knees would need to bend in order to push the mat away rather than getting the weight coming forward. So you don't want to hover over your shoulders hovering over the wrists. You want to really feel that you're sending your sits bones up towards where the wall and the ceiling meet. So now from here, let's take the feet and walk it slowly to the front of the mat. So try to keep your hands on the floor as you move forward. Bring your big toes to touch and let's slide the hands up the shins. Inhale. Pull the navel into the back of the spine. So you want to really squeeze that belly button into the lower back. Tuck your tail under and try to maintain a nice straight spine, keeping the crown of your head facing forward. From here, slide your hands down. So hinge. Don't let the shoulders start to hunch. Just pull the shoulders back and just feel that the motion is coming from your hips so that you're flexing, you're folding forward through your hips, not rounding the back. And then slide up again. Inhale and exhale. So depending on your flexibility, maybe you're only going down a little bit. If you have very tight hamstrings, it's kind of hard to take the forward bend with your hands touching the floor. But if you're very flexible, maybe your hands can come down. But try to keep those legs as straight as possible. Slide up again. Inhale, exhale, and fold. We're going to take a slight bend in the knees, and we're going to roll ourselves up, one vertebra at a time. So let your arms just hang. And as you keep your chin into the chest, start to straighten your legs. Draw your tailbone towards the mat. And then finally, once you get up nice and tall, allow the head to reach up towards the ceiling. And then from here, let's take the arms, extend them all the way up. Inhale. Exhale. We're going to twist to the right. Left arm goes forward, right arm behind. And bring both arms all the way up. Inhale. And taking your twist over to the left, exhale, right hand forward, left arm back. Lift up, inhale, twisting again to the right. And lift up, inhale. And exhale, twist left. We'll do one more time for both sides, raising both arms up, inhale. Taking your twist, turn to the right as you exhale. And lifting up, inhale. Last time, turning to the left, exhale. Bringing both arms all the way up, inhale. Folding forward, so arms come out, belly in, hinge from your hips. Try not to round your back. So pull the navel in, hinge from the hips. Take your hands onto the floor, so you might need to bend your knees for that to happen. And we're going to step the left leg back into a lunge. The right knee is going to be over the ankle. We're going to lower that left knee down to the floor. So once your left knee comes onto the mat, flatten the toes on your left foot. And we're going to reach our left buttock towards that left heel and raise your right foot off the floor. So you're just kind of standing on your left knee. Lift your chest away from your right thigh and try to press through the back of your right knee to stretch in through the hamstring. The more you flex that right foot, the more intense the stretch is. But you want to get that right leg to go straight. And then slowly place that foot back down onto the mat, walking your hands around that right foot. Curl your back toes and push back through your heel. So now feeling a stretch coming into the calf and even into the left hip flexor. So keep pushing back through that left heel. You know, the more you push back, the more you'll feel that stretch. Breathe here. And from here, we're going to just take the left foot and bring it forward to meet the right. So you want to shift the weight onto the right foot, allow the left foot to come forward. Bring your right leg back this time. For your lunge, send it as far back as you can. Lower the knee to the floor and then flatten the toes on your right foot. We're going to stretch back. As we pull that right buttock towards the heel, try to straighten the left leg, pressing through the back of the knee. So the toes will start to lift. As you start to raise the toes towards your face and flex that foot, you'll deepen the stretch into that left hamstring. So just stretch that left hip back. The more you flex the foot, the more you'll feel the deeper stretch. Try to press through the back of the left knee to the mat. Breathing here. And then slowly take that left foot back down. Both hands come around that left foot, and we're going to curl the right toes. Push back through the heel to let your knee lift. And just keep pressing back. And then we're going to shift the weight onto the left foot as the right foot comes forward. Taking the left leg all the way back again, we're going to let that left foot come flat down onto the mat. So you're going to spin that left foot flat onto the mat. Bring your left arm forward and open up that left arm. Now, if you need the block, bring it right next to your pinky toe and come up to wherever it feels comfortable so that you can rotate open the left rib cage. Maybe you only need a little bit of height, but maybe you need very much that you need to come up to the highest point. Now checking out, push your right knee into your right elbow and let that left arm extend up. Breathe here. Nice deep inhale and exhale. One more inhale. Exhale, bring that left hand down to the mat. And we're going to remove the block, lowering the left knee down onto the floor. And we're going to bring both hands back behind us as we stretch back, interlace your fingers, and open your chest. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. So coming to a chest opener here, you want to tuck your tail under, and you want to reach those hips forward. Expand, open the chest, and breathe. And then sweep your arms all the way up. Inhale, and bring your arms out to the side as you exhale, and turning with the upper body to the right. Let your left arm go forward. Take your right arm back. Try to find your balance. Draw the inner thighs together. Make sure your right knee is not pushing out to the side. You want to keep it facing forward. Bring your right hand towards your left. Bring both arms all the way up. Inhale. And then both hands slowly come down on either side of your right foot. Curl your back toes and bring that left foot to meet the right. Switching sides now, the right leg is going to extend back. We'll take it back to that lunge position. as far back as you can. We're going to now flatten that right foot down to the floor. Bring the block next to your left pinky toe. Sweep your right arm forward and open the chest. And breathe. So really press down into the edge of your right foot. Pull that left knee right into your left elbow and reach up. Open the right rib cage to the ceiling. You don't want to have your chest falling down. So sometimes if you don't have the height, if you don't have the block, you'll be more struggling to get your chest to open. So that's why it's important to have that height so that you can stay in that knee, the bend in the knee. And it can be challenging. And then let's bring that right hand back down to the floor. Release your block. And let's take the left knee onto the mat. And let the toes come flat onto the left foot. I'm going to take both hands onto your left thigh. As you come up, you're going to press your pelvis down. Let your hips move forward. And bring both arms all the way back behind you. Interlace your fingers and squeeze your shoulder blades together. So let your chest really expand and open. Make sure your left knee is over your ankle. You don't want to have your foot more to the middle of your mat and your knee going forward over your toes or beyond your toes. You don't want that heel to lift. So you want to continue to keep that left leg at a 90-degree angle. Release both arms out to the side. Taking the right arm forward, bring your left arm behind. So let's take a twist here. That left knee is still facing forward. Pull both shoulders down. Try not to round through your back. So really pull the navel in, sink your pelvis down, and squeeze the shoulder blades together. Let the shoulders come down away from the ears. Bring your left hand towards the right. Raise both arms all the way up. Inhale. And then both hands come down on either side of your left foot. We're going to curl the back toes, taking that left leg back to a down dog. So you're going to bring that left foot to meet the right. Draw the crown of the head to the floor. Push the mat away. Pull your belly in. I'm going to hold it here. So at least trying to hold maybe 5 breaths. If you're a very, very beginner and you've never really done a practice before, you might want to just come down onto your knees into your child's pose. But if you're able to stay up for your down dog, just stay in the down dog position. Another 2 more breaths. And now everyone's going to meet in child's pose. So we're going to take the knees back down to the floor. You're going to bring your big toes to touch, opening your knees out to the side. Draw the tailbone down towards your heels and keep your arms forward. Remember, we don't want the forehead to hang out. So bring your block underneath if you need to. Just let your hips really stretch open. Your tailbone pushes down towards the heels. And taking a few breaths here. This is our resting pose. So anytime that you feel overwhelmed in the practice or out of breath, come back to this pose. So we're going to come back up onto all fours. Keep your hands right where they are and just lift your butt off your heels and then bring your knees back under your hips. So keeping your hands right where they are, curl your toes and lift your knees off the mat as you send the hips back and up. Taking it forward, walking the feet all the way to the front of your mat and let those big toes touch. Inhale, slide your hands up the shins for your forward bend. Pull the belly in. Exhale and fold. Try not to round through the shoulders. And then arms come out in T position and hinge from your hips. Come all the way up. Bring your hands together and look up at your hands as they press together. Slowly returning the hands to the chest. Draw your chin to your chest. Gaze down in towards the center of your heart. You can let your eyes close if you want. Just taking a moment as you stand here in stillness in our Tadasana mountain pose, allowing the palms just to stay pressed together. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. Tuck the tail under, belly in, opening those hips outward. Feel all 4 corners of your feet as they ground to the earth. So we're going to take it into a triangle now, taking it on the left side first. So we're going to bring our chin up level with the mat. Bring both arms all the way up towards the ceiling. Taking a step back with your right foot. So you want to face, your hips are facing towards the front of your mat. The right foot goes back. And you're going to allow that left heel to line up with the instep of your right foot. Your right toes are angled to the longer edge of the mat, more towards the corner of the front corner of the mat, not to the back corner. So you're now going to turn your hips open. So your heel of the left foot is lined up with the instep of your right. Bring your arms out in T. Pull your navel into the spine. Draw the tailbone down towards the mat. We're going to extend over the left leg, keeping that left foot completely facing the front of the mat. So you don't want your left toes to turn to the corner of the mat. Engage your left quadricep. So tighten that left quad, feeling it pull into your left hip. And then just reach out with your left hand, stretching as far as you can to the wall in front of you. Then lower the hand down towards your left shin. Take your right hand onto your right hip. Tuck your tailbone under. Roll the chest open and reach and extend the right arm up towards the ceiling. So think when we were doing those twists, we had the chest open. So you want to get that same sensation of opening the chest to the ceiling. And if your chest is falling forward towards the floor and your arm is extended to the corner of the room, keep your hand on your right hip and start to really feel if you can pull your shoulder back, rolling the left buttock under and reaching the right hip towards the ceiling. So that you want to get the chest to face towards the side of your mat, facing that side, not down to the floor. Eventually, when the arm can come up, if you have that right shoulder stacked over the left, then look down at your left big toe. We're going to come up with both arms out in T position. Inhale. So right from here, we're going to switch it out for the other side. So your left leg is now, toes are pointed to the front of your mat, and the right toes are angled to the corner of the mat on the front. So you want to turn so that your left toes are now turned to the back of the mat, and the right toes turn to the back of the mat. So your same position of the feet as you had, you're just reversing it for your triangle on the right. Your right heel lines up with the instep of the left foot. The hips are facing the longer edge of your mat. Engage your right quadricep, so tighten that right thigh. Both arms come out, shoulders down. You're going to really tighten that right thigh, pull it into the right hip, and reach out with that right hand, keeping that right leg straight. Make sure your right toes are facing towards that smaller edge of your mat. Reaching, reaching, reaching. Then bring your hand down, and remember we're not rolling the shoulder or the chest towards the floor. So your chest is open, the left rib cage open, left hand to your left hip, and just roll that shoulder open. Then if you're okay with raising the left arm and it goes to the ceiling, then lift it up. But if you lift the arm up and it's going to the corner of the room, it means most likely that your chest is down and it's hard to get your arm to go straight if your shoulder is not stacked over the right. So that's why it's important to have the shoulders stacked. Keep drawing your belly in, breathing, looking up towards the left thumb. And then look down at your right big toe with that right leg straight. Inhale, belly in. Bring your arms out in T position. Exhale here. We're going to turn so that the toes are now facing the long edge of the mat. So adjust so that your toes are facing towards the long edge of the mat. Widen your stance a little bit so the legs are a little wider than they were in your triangle. And take your hands onto your hips. Pull your shoulder blades together and elbows squeeze together. Now you want to draw the belly in and tuck your tail under. So you want to really engage the abdominal muscles. Elbows squeeze in, then let your chest lift. So just lift your chest and then fold forward as you exhale. So make the hinging motion come from your hips. Continue to fold as long as you maintain that straight spine, just as we did when we were folding forward with the legs staying together. So you may only come to this point, so stay here. If you're flexible enough through your hamstrings and your hips, maybe you can come a little lower, but you're not letting the chin drop into the chest. So the head stays in that neutral position when you start to fold. Both legs stay straight here. So if you're bending your legs, you want to straighten them and maybe tuck under a little more. It may raise your chest a little up from the floor. Squeeze those elbows together. Inhale, pull the belly in. We're going to lift back up. So keep squeezing those shoulder blades. Lift your chest. Look up. And then exhale, come back to center. So we're going to just transition to warrior two poses here, since we're in this the stance where we would be able to transition. We're just going to turn the left toes to the front of the mat, and the right toes are a little bit turned towards the corner of your mat, just like they were in our triangle pose, with the heel lined up with the instep of your right foot. So now you want to take those hips and make sure that they're facing the longer edge of the mat. So your hips should not be turning towards the shorter edge of the mat. You want to open them more to the longer edge. Arms in T, and that left leg is going to bend, and it should go right over your ankle. You should not let that knee go over your toes. So you're going to just open the arms, bend your leg, sink your pelvis down so that your pelvis is pressing towards the floor, and your left side of the chest is not reaching over the left leg. So it's just a bend through that left leg, and you're sinking down. Keep the belly in, and then look down the fingers of your left hand. And breathe here. Really work on feeling strength in that left thigh. So make sure those knees are pushing outward, not down towards the mat. So open up through the inner right thigh, open up through the inner left thigh. And keeping the legs exactly where they are, let's lower the right hand to the right thigh. Turn the left palm up and reverse our warrior. So the legs stay exactly the way they are, but we're going into that stretch into the left side of the body. Try to extend that arm and just have a little arch in it. No, not deep bend in the elbow, but just a little arch. And if you're able to look up, you can look up. Otherwise, just gaze towards the side and breathe. Try not to grab your right leg. Just stretch the fingers down. Come back up, bringing the arms back into position. Straighten your left leg. Bring both arms all the way up. Turn your feet the opposite direction so that your right toes are now facing towards the shorter end, to the back of the mat. The left toes angle to that left corner. Heel to instep alignment. Hips are facing the longer edge. Arms out, bend the right leg. So if you didn't change the position of your feet, if you didn't move them in, you should be right in the right position where the 90-degree angle remains on the right side. Tailbone presses down, belly in. Look down towards the fingers of your right hand. Try to really be strong through the edge of your left foot. Try not to bend that left leg. So really push to the outer edge of your left foot. And pelvis is lowering down. So we're going to reverse our warrior here. The left hand lowers. Just let it rest on your leg. Turn your right palm up, and you're just going to reach the right arm, little arch in the elbow, and stretch. So keep the chest, the rib cage reaching upward, and breathe. So just stretch through the fingers of your right hand. Look up towards the elbow, or just gaze towards the longer edge, that direction. And then look up and bring both arms out in T position. Straighten your right leg as you bring both arms all the way up. We're going to turn that right toe, turn the left toe, so now your hips are facing forward. And we're just going to hop the right foot in a little bit, allowing the toes of the right foot to be at that angle towards the front of your mat. Your left toes are facing the front of the mat, and we're going to just bend the left leg, keeping the arms up for warrior one. So the hips are forward. Left knee is over the ankle. Arms are extended. If it's a little too intense for your arms, bring them either out to the side, or you can let them rest down alongside you, or just hold onto your hips, but pull your shoulder blades together. So wherever you are, hold here. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale. On your inhale, straighten your left leg. We're going to turn towards the back of the mat, adjusting the feet so that the right toe is now facing the short end. The left toes turn so that they're facing towards the left edge of your mat. Hips are square. and bending your right leg at the knee. Gazing up slightly, keep your belly in, let the fingers reach up, try to pull your shoulders down. And if it's a little too intense with the arms extended, keep them out to the side or place them onto your hips. But really make sure your hips are facing towards that shorter edge of the mat. So your left heel is pressing down. And we'll hold here. One more breath. Inhale, raising the arms up. Exhale, straighten the left leg. And we're going to turn all the way to the front of the mat with your left toes, and then we're going to just bring the right foot to meet the left. Bring both big toes to touch and take your hands to prayer, and we'll hold back in mountain pose with the hands together. Option to close your eyes if you'd like, or just keep your eyes open as they gaze to the heart center. So now we're going to end up coming into a balance pose. So make sure that you're at the very top of your mat. We're going to just lift the right leg off the floor. So first we want to create a foundation in the left foot. So lift your left toes off the floor, press down into the ball mound of your left toes, and then just place the toes down. Really lift out of that left arch and feel the left leg lengthening. And then taking your right leg, you're going to lift the leg and bend the right leg at the knee as you lift up. So keep your arms down alongside you. Try to keep your heel right underneath your knee. And then slowly raise your arms out in T position. Just finding a balance here. If you want to take it a little further, raise the arms all the way up. Take your time. Reaching through the fingers. Nice deep breath in and out. And if your arms are lifted, we're going to bring them back out to the side. Continue to hold. If you fall out, just try to get yourself back in. Bring the arms all the way down. And then release that right leg. And take that left foot. Shake it out a little bit if it got a little tight. So we're going to shift over now to the right foot. So you want to lift off all the toes on the right foot, pressing down into the ball mound of the toes. Then let the toes just spread wide and place them down, lifting out of your arch, out of your ankle, raise out of that right hip. Pull the belly in. Keep your tailbone pressing down towards the mat. When you're ready, raise the left arm, the left leg. Knee stays in alignment with the hip. If you can't get it all the way up, start low, eventually working your way up. Keep the knee underneath your ankle. Bring both arms out in T. Continue to gaze forward. So you may find you're a little more wobbly on one side than the other. Just take your time to come back if you fall out. Keep your belly in. Try not to lean your body back. So you want to keep those shoulders stacked over the hips. Then if you feel comfortable, raise the arms up. So maybe they go up this time. Or maybe they don't. Reach and extend through the fingers. Pull your belly in. And then we're going to take the arms back out to the side. Holding here. And then the arms lower down. And then the left leg lowers. And shake out that standing leg. Rotate the ankle, the foot around. Stretch out the ankle. And then from here, taking a forward bend. Lift both arms all the way up. Inhaling, folding forward. Bend the legs if you need to place your hands on the mat. Step one leg back, then your other leg back, and bring your knees down onto the mat. We're going to take the legs out to the side and sit down onto your buttocks. And once you're on your butt, extend both legs forward. So taking a forward bend, Dandasana, staff pose. So it's the same thing as if you were standing. When you fold, you're just going to not round your shoulders. You're going to pull the shoulder blades together, and you're going to hinge, make the hinging motion from your hips. So let's flex the feet, press through the backs of your knees, raise your arms up, lift, inhale, fold. So only take it to where you can. So notice if you start to overreach, you might start to round the back. So just fold and hinge, and then lower the hands down somewhere onto your shins, and pulling your belly in, pull the hips back. Fold so that your belly comes towards your thighs. You want to feel most of the stretch opening through your lower back. Keep your feet flexed so that you also intensify the stretch through the hamstrings. And just fold where you can come down comfortably. Don't worry about whether you touch your toes or not, but try to be more conscious of the form of your spine, the length of your spine. And just folding. Maybe let your eyes close and just experience the stretch that you're experiencing in through your lower back and the leg. Close your eyes, pull the shoulders back, and just breathe here. And slowly come back up. We're going to take the right foot and we're going to fold it, bend the leg at the knee. You're going to cross that right foot over the left. We're just going to allow that left hand to come onto the right knee. Flex your left foot and raise the right arm forward. Lift it up towards your ear. Rotate your chest to the right and then bring your right hand behind you onto the mat and pull the right shoulder down. As you pull the shoulder down, lift your chest and rotate the rib cage more to the back of the room, and try not to force and strain your neck as the chin goes towards the right shoulder. But you want to not have the shoulders hunching. You don't want to round through the back, so you want to get that length through your spine. And even if you know that your back is rounded, you can always still sit on your block to make sure that you have more the ability to lengthen your spine so that you don't round. And then release, coming back. We're going to switch sides. So the right leg extends. Bend the left leg at the knee and cross it over to the outside of your right thigh. And make sure your right leg is engaged. So flex the foot. Lift up from your hips, long spine. Right hand onto the left knee. Bring your left arm forward, lift it up to the ear. Then you're going to rotate, opening the chest, just taking your twist from the waist. Bring your left hand down behind you next to your tailbone. Press down, open the chest. Roll that left shoulder back and let the chest open to the back of your mat, as well as your head turn. No strain in the neck. Full shoulders down. Keep engaging through that right leg, so press that right heel towards the front of your mat, back of the right knee towards the mat. And then slowly release, coming back out of the pose, and release your left foot forward. Scoot to the front of your mat, and we're going to lower ourselves down. So we're going to just work a little bit on the abdominal. So keep your legs about hip distance apart. We're going to round through the lower back. So you're going to tuck your pelvis under, and the back is going to round. Draw your chin into the chest and extend your arms forward. So really squeeze your belly into the back of the spine. You want to keep the tilt in your pelvis. You want to pull the belly in. You want to continue to breathe. So just slowly lower yourself down so that each vertebra comes in contact with the mat. So if you really lose control, it means that you need to strengthen your abdominals a little more. As you roll down, try to make it as smooth as possible until finally the back of your head is on the floor, and bring both arms down. Hug your knees into your chest and rock slowly from side to side. So get a nice little massage into your lower back. And then allow the rocking to stop. Take an inhale. Let's lift the nose up towards the knees. And let's hold it here as you exhale. Hold again. Nice inhale, pulling the belly in. And exhale. And one more. Inhale. And exhale. Let the back come down. Let the head release. And lower your feet to the floor. Once your feet are on the floor, we're going to take the right ankle and place it right above the left knee. So let your right knee just gently fall open. Just let that right hip relax. Pull the navel into the back of the spine, and then slowly pull that left foot off the mat as that left side pulls into the chest, getting a stretch in through the right hip. So try to just use the strength of your left leg to pull that, press into that right ankle to give it a stretch through the right hip. So once you notice that the stretch is there and you're using that left foot, you can then guide it a little bit more by taking the hands behind the left thigh and pulling in. So if it doesn't feel right to bring your hands there, just keep your ankle on the side and just use your left thigh to push in. So whatever feels good, you want to really enjoy this stretch in the hip. But you want to take it into a deeper place where you can breathe through it. So once you get to that edge, wherever it is, just close your eyes and just breathe with it. And you may notice that you're able to go a little deeper into the stretch. And then bring the left foot back to the floor. Take that right knee and pull it in towards your chest. Send your left leg straight out. Take hold of the outside of your right knee with your left hand and bring your right arm in T position, shoulder height. Pull the navel into the back of the spine. We're going to take a twist as we draw the right knee over to the left side of your mat. So allow that left hip to go over, the right hip to go over, but keep your right shoulder on the floor. Turn your gaze to look over to the right fingertips. And then as you're in this twist, just let that right side of your body relax. Close your eyes and breathe here. So really feel yourself letting go as you're in this twist. So always remember that the longer you hold, the more the body integrates. So just trying to hold to really develop that space. And take an inhale, bring your head back to center. Exhale, take that right leg up. And we're going to hug that right knee in towards the chest again. And we're going to lift the nose up towards the knee. And then release the head back down. Bring your right foot to the floor and slide your left foot back up. So your both feet are flat on the mat and your knees are bent. I'm going to take the left ankle now and place it on top of your right thigh. Let that left knee gently fall open to going forward to feel the stretch opening into the left hip. So now doing this, sometimes the lower back arches, so you want to really pull the navel in. So let your lower back sink down to the mat. And then keep your arms alongside you as you raise your right foot, pressing the thigh into your left ankle. So really experience that deep stretch in that left hip. And then if you feel that you can and would like to go further, you can interlace the fingers behind the right thigh and gently pull in a little bit more. And then once you get to that edge, wherever it is for you, just close your eyes and breathe with it. Make sure the lower back is not arching, so you want to flatten the sacrum down to the mat, so keeping the belly pulled in. And then release your hands. Allow that right foot to come down to the floor. And then pull the left knee into the chest and send your right leg straight out. So relax that right leg completely straight out. Left thigh is pulled into the chest. Hold to the outside of your left knee with your right hand. Bring your left arm out in T position with the shoulder down. Draw your navel into the back of the spine, inhaling. And then on your exhale, allow that knee to just rotate over to the right, keeping the left shoulder down. So just let gravity draw that knee down. And once you're there, turn your gaze to look over the left shoulder down through the left fingertip. And then as you're here, just close your eyes and experience the space that's opening through the left side of your body. And you may notice a difference between the right and left. Just try to relax with it, let go. And slowly inhale, return your head center. Exhale, bring that left leg back up. And interlace the fingers around your left shin. Lift your head, pull the knee in towards your nose. And then release, take that left foot down, lower the head, sliding your right foot back so that the heels come in close to your buttocks. We're going to take a bridge pose here for one last posture before we take our relaxation. So allow the lower back to flatten to the mat. So tuck your pelvis under, press your sacrum to the floor. You're in a pelvic tilt. Let your arms release down alongside you. Start to lift your hips and your butt off the mat. So your hips are lifting, your lower back starts to lift. And keep raising up as high as you can go. keep pulling your knees in towards each other, so try not to let the knees splay out. And just keep the chin into the chest. Don't move your head. So you don't want to move your head while you're already in this pose, because you'll be compromising, you're compromised in with that neck area. So you don't want to move your head. So keep lifting the hips, pull the belly in. You're going to feel the stretch coming into your thighs. The more you lift, you'll feel your buttocks getting a squeeze. Now, as your hips are lifted, let's slowly raise the arms all the way up to the ceiling and overhead alongside your ears. And then see if you can lift your hips up just a little bit higher. And let's see if we can hold it here for 3 more breaths. Keep those knees pulled in. Keep those hips lifted. And 2 more breaths. Inhale. And exhale. And last deep inhale. And on your exhale, ever so slowly start to lower your back down to the floor while your arms start to come down alongside your body. Try to let the arms touch when your back touches. And once it's down, just take the knees or the feet, open them as wide as the width of the mat. So feel your edges of your mat on the bottom of your feet. Open the arms out in T position. Inhale, the navel pulls in. Exhale, let the knees float over to the right side. Come up through center. Inhale. Exhale, knees float over to the left side. Inhale up. Exhale once again to the right. And let's hold it here for a few counts. Just let everything go. Don't hold any tension in the body. And then we're going to inhale up. And as you exhale, take it over to the left side and just let every bit of tension flow out. Holding it here, just breathe. And slowly come back up. And then hug those knees into your chest one last time. And maybe just rock, moving side to side, just massaging out the back. And we're going to take now our relaxation. So allow your legs to extend forward, keeping your legs hip distance apart. Let your feet gently flop out to the sides. Open your arms away from your body. Turn your palms to the ceiling. Draw your shoulder blades together, expanding through your chest. Let the shoulders relax. Make sure your chin is soft towards the chest. Any final adjustments that you need to make any final adjustments. If you need to move your clothing a little bit, move your legs a little more, kind of just rock it out, whatever you need to do. Eventually finding stillness, and we're going to hold here as we come into Shavasana, our final pose, resting, relaxing, integrating all the work that we've done, letting go of any leftover tension that may have accumulated. Remember, we don't have to have everything perfect. We're on our own journey, moving towards our own goal, finding ourselves, taking the time to go deeper when we can, to honor our bodies, and just allowing the mind and the body to just unite and join together, having the experience of the physical body. And just let everything go. Continue to keep your eyes closed. Find a natural rhythm of your breath. And once you find that breath slow and smooth and even, just watch how it comes into your body. The rise of the chest, the belly, and then the fall of the chest and the belly as you exhale. And allowing the mind to just remain still as best as possible. Just relaxing. If you find it challenging to keep the mind quiet, maybe just let your mind listen to the breath. perhaps saying in your mind, rising and falling. And every time the mind gets distracted, just guide it back. Not to get upset or worried. Just guide yourself back. Remain here for another few minutes, integrating all the work, letting go, accepting you might find limitations once in a while. That's okay. Relax, relax, relax. And just slowly, without moving, witness how you're feeling at this moment. And ever so slowly, just take your head and turn it over to one side. Bring your head back to center and turn your head to the other side. Bring your head back to center. And then slowly, one finger at a time, start to move each finger on the hand one at a time. And then start to feel your toes as they wiggle. Slowly integrating the wrists and the ankle. Taking your time to just return back into your physical body. Once again, witnessing how you're feeling. Observing the result of your practice. And slowly taking a nice deep breath in, reach and extend your arms all the way over your head, stretching as deep as you can, exhaling out any sigh sounds or moans. Hug the knees in, pull them into your chest, and rock from side to side. Just taking that nice massage into your lower back. When you feel ready, just roll all the way over onto the right side of your mat. As you come all the way over, let your left hand come onto the floor in front of your chest and let your head rest gently onto your right arm so that you create a soft pillow for your head to rest on. Be with your stillness. Be with your peace. Again, observing what your practice has given to you, how you feel. And when you feel ready, gently press into your left hand as you guide yourself up to a seated position. Try to let the chin come into the chest and just let your head be the last to come up. As you sit up nice and tall, draw your navel into the back of the spine, and then gently bring your palms into prayer, letting the thumbs gently press to the center of your heart. Just finding quiet now. Just continue to feel the pulsation of your heart beating through your thumbs in your chest. Notice how your breath is very slow and smooth and even. And any time that you feel that you start to get anxious or tense, and you start to feel tight through your body or stress, remember how you feel right at this moment. Know that you have the power to bring yourself back here. Maybe just taking time to move into a quiet space in the house and close your eyes and just breathe and just recreate what you're feeling at this moment. We all have the power to do that. It just takes practice sometimes. So we're going to close by finishing up, feeling in our practice as we chant Om one time. Take a nice deep breath in. Om. And very slowly and gently lower your chin to your chest as you bow to the light and love that shines within you. Know that that light and love shines brightly within each and every one of us. Namaste. Thank you very much, everyone. Enjoy your day, and I will see you next time.